Oh, the boys are sounding good in the band today. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Welcome to our show. She's the lovely Melinda McKinsey.
And this is my best friend, Tom Wise.
You read it. You read it just the way I wrote it. And it's time now to let's unpack some shit.
Let's
It's a
just
little
unpack.
that's a little crass, isn't it? Say that.
It's honest. It's honest.
But it's the name of the show. We can't do anything about it.
No, we can't. I mean, we had a radio show many years ago. It was called What a Show.
That's
Someone
right.
stole our name. So this was the next best clever name that we had.
So I'm trying to think about a theme of our show, because a lot of times, you're trying to get this on iTunes or something. They say, well, what's your show about? And a lot of everybody says, well, we just blah, blah, it is what it is. But it's actually, Melinda and I get along very well. We could talk about virtually any subject. And we think, especially in this time of COVID and hankering down,
Yes.
that, you might be fun. We're your new best friends. Ask us a question. We're going to open up a Facebook thing. We're going to do this live on YouTube, maybe next week. And then we'll take live questions or whatever. That'll be a disaster, but we'll make it happen anyway.
It will be a lovely disaster, especially considering the fact that we live so far apart from each other that we're able to do this so smoothly.
Yeah, still in Tarpon Springs.
Tarpon Springs. I'm still in Brooklyn, New York. So
here we go.
Here we go.
I'll do my list of topics. I have one winner here, one real winner, but the other ones I'm very interested in. Fresh tomatoes, X-ray feet, shark's teeth, comedy ideas, and watch how you enter.
Is that going to be part of our sexy talk, or is that we don't know?
You know what I like to keep it mystery about things.
Okay. We'll keep it mystical. So I have a couple of things. Of course, I like every week I try to fit in sexy talk and tip of the day, but I also
That's what she said.
I very much want to include Netflix's new series called Love on the Spectrum.
Hold on. Matt Davis is calling in.
Matt Davis can't call in. We're busy.
Davis, we're doing a show. I'll call you back in 30 minutes.
In the middle of a very interesting topic discussion.
Davis is going to come in and do he's going to do a segment.
Cool. There's something on Netflix called Love on the Spectrum. It's about people with autism and Asperger's dating.
Nice.
And there are so many interesting things that have happened during that. I also want to talk about strings.
Strings?
Yep.
Well, can we crack that open immediately?
What comes with strings?
Strings?
What has strings attached?
Ooh, so I'm thinking kite strings or packages. You're talking about emotional entanglements, tit for tat, quid pro quo.
All of that. So you start it, kind sir.
It's your topic.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you want to start out with strings?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I've been having interesting conversations with people during these times. I'm not sure what we'll call it later, but in the history
Dark Ages.
We're going to have a cool name for that.
Part two.
People are going to feel bad for us, but we've been talking about how it's affecting people in different ways and how people are now really kind of forced to think about their life and their circumstances and who they are because of our being stuck at home. We have a virus. The politics are terrible. So what I want to talk, I use my hands a lot. What I want to talk about is, Tom, do you feel like, and I feel like I know your answer, but be as honest as you possibly can for our
Anal
show.
beads is always the answer you're looking for. There, I've jumped to the end. Ha!
I know it.
Boom, done and done.
Anal beads. We've only discussed it one show. Do you feel like when you do things for others, not just your family, but people that you know, when you do a kind gesture like, hey, come out on the boat with me today, or let's go to dinner, do you feel like you offer that with expectations? Like if they ride my boat, they better help me clean it. If I take them to dinner, they better yada, yada. Do you, Tom?
You know what? I think about that every now and again. And I don't want to paint myself as a saint-like person. But most of the time, if I do something, I try to do without any expectations, because you live a simpler life that way. Then you don't have this Rolodex slopes in your back of your head about people owing you things. And I can say also that there's probably not a lot of things that I do like that, so it would be a small list anyway. However, I do get a little bit disappointed in the fact that I've had a lot of brunches over the years, and I
Yeah.
get very few invitations for
Yes.
whatever
Yeah.
in return. And I said, you know what? It is what it is. I enjoy the brunches. I enjoy having people over. Do it with a happy heart. And if you get an invitation somewhere, great. I also come to the realization that most folks don't have a spread. They can invite 38 of their closest friends or 50 people over, so it is what it is. But so
Well,
I feel grateful and blessed
bless.
that I've got an opportunity to invite people over. But it'd be nice to get an invitation out, like, hey, we're having game night. We need
Yeah.
a weirdo to fill out a seven some.
I don't. You know what? I I I hear what you're saying, and yes, one of my favorite things about you is you're very generous. I love generosity in people. I like to feel that I'm generous. I struggle if I'm around people that are cheap. Like, can we split this? You owe 50 cents more.
I'm
I
working on a joke.
really, I can't. I struggle with those people because I feel like if you're cheap with that, you're cheap in other things. Don't be cheap in life.
I'm working
Enjoy.
on a joke. So I would invite my brother Patrick. You mind if I jump in here?
I'm used to it. I'm a woman.
Wow. You know what? Go ahead. Finish your foolish thought.
It's me, Tom. You always
Finish your going nowhere thought. Go ahead.
no. You always let me talk. You win. It's yours. No, tell me about Patrick. What happened?
Go ahead. No, no, it was kind of a running joke. Patrick would join me and the kids for lunch or something,
Yeah.
and then the bill would come, and I'm like, well, let's just split it in half. You might have more kids. I might have more kids. How do you know? How can you tell? It,
You can, and Patrick is your brother for people that are
right.
watching, so it's a family thing. I get that.
It's like you go out drinking with a guy. He's having 9 beers or 9 shots, and you've had a seltzer water. The bill comes, and he's like, "Hey, let's just chop this in half." Uh,
Have you ever no
it's
to that?
it's confusing to see. You can't figure out how the bill goes.
It's painful. I've been with people here in New York where I have here in New York City, where I've gone to eat and all have like hardly anything, and they'll want all the free stuff, and then they'll say the same thing, and I'll pay it, but then I'll never go to brunch with them again because
Absolutely.
I'm not doing that. I'm happy to pay, but if you nickel and dime me,
It's always the guy. It's never the person that had an ice water and a breadstick that says, "Hey, let's just chop that up in half. Let's just take this
no.
in four." Right? It's never that person. It's the person who ordered 9 things, hors d'oeuvres, and whatever, and 7 drinks. Hey, let's just divide this by 3.
Yeah, of course it is. I once went on a trip with a female friend who I had the room with my credit card. She would go to the bar every night and drink. So when we left, I was like, "Oh, it wasn't me. It was all her drinks." And she's like, "I thought we were splitting everything." And I didn't go to the bar, and I ended up paying for it. But
No way.
I did pay for it.
That's a
But
deal breaker.
well, it ended up being a deal breaker in the long run because if someone's going to treat you that way, they
Absolutely. What do you think? Are you drinking on my nickel? Because I put my credit. How about your credit card down there and you drink like a fish?
yeah. Yeah. So lessons learned. So as far as the string things go,
Well,
I just feel like based on the times and things that are happening now because everybody's super stressed, that it's happening more like, well, I wash the dishes, aren't why can't you? You know,
They say in relationships, everybody thinks that they work harder than the other person, right? I mean,
yes.
so I think if you're in a relationship and if you could muster up the idea of like, I'm going to work 72%, but it's going to be worth it because I'm building a relationship that's worthwhile. But
My thing is just talk it out. Like my daughter and her boyfriend live here. We've been inside since mid-March. So my thing is the kitchen and the dishes.
right,
And their thing is not the kitchen and the dishes. So I just had to talk with them and said, "Hey, let's just clear the air. I
right,
like a clean kitchen. It stresses me out for whatever reason. So there are times I'll wash the dishes just to get rid of it.
right.
I'm I'm not mad about it, but I just want to let you know I'm having feelings so I don't get mad about it." And then she explained, she said, "You know what? I'm tired at night. I'll do them in the morning." I said, "That's cool. As long as we talk about it, I'm fine because I'll make up a story in my head about it. And then I'm going to get mad about something that I made up and not what the truth is." It was such a relief to have that conversation because I'm not
Oh,
mad she didn't do the dishes. I'm mad at myself for not being able to relax if the kitchen's not exactly the way I think it should be.
no, I agree. It's very hard to have roommates. Very
Yeah.
hard. I had one guy, Bert, wouldn't cover anything on the microwave. He'd put his spaghetti in there. Thing would go. he had something on there. He had something in there one time. I'm just casually in the kitchen. The thing was microwave was running when I walked in. Right.
Right?
I'm getting. I look at. I go. He's got this thing set for 57 minutes. I go, Bert, what do you got in there? Oh, I thought that was 57 seconds.
Oh, Bert.
I said, Bert, whenever he puts, I don't care if you think it's not going to explode or anything. If you put something in the microwave, you're covering it with a paper towel or whatever. Just,
Because the people that don't cover also are not cleaning out
of
the
course
microwave.
he's not. He's never cleaned the microwave in his life.
That's hilarious. But those are the small things that become the big things if
Right.
they're not addressed. They
Just be a good roommate, right? Work a little harder than you think you should, and then everybody's going to be about fair.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. So,
Yeah,
all right.
we're living
I
in a
think
fantasy world.
I know, but everybody has their own way of handling things. Like for me, I'm direct. Not everybody wants to be talked to directly, so you have to find a way to communicate that's comfortable for everybody. Just because I can be in someone's face doesn't mean they can handle that. I
Of
have to
course.
find the same way.
And you got to pick your spots with the relationship. I mean, you can't go and nit in every pick or pick
You
every
can't.
nit, or you're going to go
Right.
crazy. Like
Right.
I'm renting a room right now to a guy, right? He's a
Okay.
super nice guy, super smart, super courteous. Doesn't care where I leave the air conditioner. I mean, I'll go upstairs. I go. It's on 80. You can please put it down to 70 something. I leave it on 80 all day long because I'm never upstairs. But he'll go to bed before me. He'll go to 7 o'clock. He'll come home, and he'll be up there, and it's 80 degrees. And I go, please, Andy, just drop it to 72. Put it whatever you want. Please be comfortable. Don't whatever. And so he's super flexible that way. However,
However,
when he's emptying out his trash, he wants to take his trash and he empties it into the kitchen. Well, the trash is another 50 yards away out in the. I said, if you've got a big box or something, a big bag of shit, just can you make it just a little bit further? So, because one of us is going to have to take out the trash, and it's never you. But I'm like, Andy's so flexible, and I'm sure I aggravate him on things I do because I'll leave the place a little bit of a mess,
sure.
because I own the place, blah blah blah. I think that I've got some special dispensation to leave it right, and he's got a. Oh,
Tom, again, we must have a ghost or someone that's haunting the show because
Andy, still talk, Andy. Oh.
Hey, you know what? While we had that quick break, can you talk about what's in your background?
Yeah, I just painted the red door. Isn't it nice? My boy and I made that red door. It's kind of a barn door slide. It's supposed to slide, but I did a shitty job. I made it 12 feet. They said, don't make a super long door. You're going to have a hard time. So you're talking to me. So I made a 12-foot door. It's impossible to move. The thing weighs a zillion pounds.
Well, it looks great, but I wanted you to mention your carry card.
Oh, the carry card. I was on home shopping on Saturday. In 6 minutes and 42 seconds, we sold 330 of them.
You did.
It's insane.
Great tool to have around your house. I bought one off of home shopping when I watched you. Even though we're friends, I was like, I must have it because
you bought one.
I bought one from one of your shows. I texted you afterwards. It was such a good show, and I thought, yes, I want something that I can put my things on and roll around, but I also need a step ladder because I'm very short and I'm not very strong. I love my carry cart.
There you go, the old carry cart.
Guys.
Yeah, I just filled 2 orders today from Amazon.
So nice. I have candy in the background because this is something I'm obsessed with during the pandemic is all kinds of candy. I don't think it says anything about me at all. It's just random.
I think, it's wrong. I go to CVS. That's where I get my ice cream.
Yes.
And it's like, this was buy 2, get the 3rd free. It's like, I just wanted 1 because I know what I'm going to do with 3.
You spread it out over, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
It's like a magnet. I don't even start fooling myself anymore. Like I'm going to eat just half or a little bit. No, if I start that thing, it's done.
I have to talk to myself because I have all these containers in the dining room. So I walk past them all the time to get to the kitchen. I have to talk to myself like, before you get this, go do that. Because it's a reward system for me. It gives me something to be excited about. So
hey, I'm up. I did 63 push-ups today.
Yeah, you did. I gotta start doing those things.
I was so it's like I don't feel like doing anything today. Just go it. You got to do the negative in order to get the positive, right?
You're so right. I need to start. I told you one of your fans is doing. I'm writing this in my book, so I'll remember to do it. One of your fans is now doing push-ups because of you. So you got to really keep it going.
I lost my cool for the first time in a long time. So about a week ago or so, maybe 10 days, 2 weeks ago, I had the idea that I was going to do 62 push-ups on my 62nd birthday, right?
Yes.
That's kind of nice how it works out like that.
Lovely.
And so it's been in my head, and I've been doing 60, getting to 60. I did 62 a couple of times. The last time I did push-ups, I did 58, and couldn't finish. I go, so I'm pretty much max at the 60-ish, right?
Right. Okay.
Right now. So I tell the girls, and my girls are in from Chicago. My twins, they're 25, so they're living with Tina while they're down here for a month or so. And I says, girls, this is my plan. I'm going to go ahead and do 62 push, and I'd like for you to record it, so I'll have a recording of it, right?
Yes.
So I tell Spencer, I said, all right, Maddie, you shoot me,
Yeah.
and I'm going to, because everybody's giving me birthday wishes on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, thanks for the birthday wishes. I'm overwhelmed with blah, blah, blah. I said,
Yeah.
and to the haters out there who
Yep.
said I couldn't do 62 push-ups. Now, at that point, Spencer's behind me, but I can't see. And she's like, nobody said that. So I'm creating a controversy for me to go ahead and do push-ups.
I love it.
So I drop down. I'm going to show you I can do. So I start doing push-ups. The
Right.
dog starts barking. Spencer's counting the push-ups in a certain way. I said, here's how I would like you to count the push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 30. Because it's hard to say 21, 22, 23. Yeah. So let's do.
And no.
So I'm doing push-ups. The dog starts barking like crazy. My phone starts ringing. Spencer's counting out. Tina jumps in. Now Tina's doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now she's three behind because she's not watching me. She's listening to Spencer. And it's dog barking, phone ringing, Spencer yelling. Tina's on the wrong count. And I get to 60 and I lose my.
Yeah. I understand.
What's going on? What's going on? I said, can we just get, because I'm like focused on this. It's in my head. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, but it was crazy.
Well, did you have a good birthday on Saturday?
I had a great birthday. The girls made it. Tina made a great dinner. The girls made an amazing cake. The boy was working, so we spent the day doing games and watching TV and just sitting on the couch.
And for those that don't know, Tina is your ex.
Yes.
Very impressive. You guys have such a great relationship. I encourage that.
Sure.
Not for me, but for anybody else.
You can have a great relationship with Tina too.
I should try. I actually love Tina.
Yeah, we went bike riding yesterday. We're going to go out in the boat tomorrow. So all good.
That's so nice. Speaking of tomorrow, can I just plug real quick? I'm going to be on QVC Italy tomorrow. What? So at 11:30 USA time and 3:30 USA time, I'll be live on QVC Italy talking about it.
Oh, wow.
It's my second time working for them. They're so nice. The minute they pull, because we're doing everything remotely, they go, Melinda. And immediately I was like, I love you, I'll marry you. And I have relationship issues, and I was like, yes.
I'm all in. All my chips are in.
So yes. So
I wonder if Americans are treated differently, or if they've got if their accent is considered to be sexy in Yugoslavia or England or Italy or Germany. Probably not.
I don't think that we're well loved for our dialect in America. I think in the past we've been loved for our willingness to spend money other places. I think that's been one of the things. I don't get the impression Italians look at us and go, ooh, la la, Americans, yes, so fancy. I feel like they're like, oh, the Americans, here we go again. So I try to be very civilized and not embarrass myself because I'm a lot. So
did you ever watch the movie Love Actually?
Of course.
How about the British kid who ends up going to America and walks into a bar in Green Bay, right? And his accent is charming, and all the ladies are loving on him.
It does a lot, those accents. It does a lot.
All right. You could pick one from the list. Fresh tomatoes, X-ray feet, shark's teeth. I'm rhyming, not even on purpose. Comedy ideas, and enter. Be careful how you enter.
Which one I want to pick. Be careful how you enter.
This could be also a daily tip.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
I remember when I got hired at Home Shopping. It's a great story. This is, if I ever was ever interviewed on David Letterman, this was going to be the story I was going to tell, and I'll tell the full version at some other time. All right. Okay. But now we're down to. the short version is I got hired as an operator to be at home shopping.
I forgot that part.
I got hired as an operator, and there's nothing wrong. I mean, I had to eat. I was 27 years old. Had no employment, had bills. I
Yeah.
had I took a typing class in high school, and I sold office equipment in my 20s. So I knew how to type a little bit. I was not proficient, but
Right.
HSN, their requirement was like 25 words a minute, 20 words a minute. So you could do that if you're familiar with the keyboard. And you can hunt and peck. You can hunt and peck that fast.
Sure.
So I got a job as an operator there. And there's 9 of us in a room, and the guy says, "Yeah, you all got hired. You got to take your lie detector test, and then, then you can start as soon as you'll get a date as soon as you take
I
the
love that
take
the
it past the
lie
test."
detector test is even part of it. I'm sorry.
But
Womp.
Roy Spear was crazy. He
That's
hated people.
nuts.
He didn't trust anybody.
No, that's
So,
nuts.
long story short, is after I walk out of that room, I chat the guy that just hired me. I chat him up a little bit,
Yeah.
and I said, "Hey, I think I could be a host on the show." He goes, "Really?"
Yes.
Right? He goes,
Yes.
"Really?" And then
Yeah.
long story short, we know how this ends. I end up getting the job, right?
Yes. You.
And as I was working in that job, I was saying to myself, if I worked one day as an operator, I would never have ever been considered to be a host for the show, because there are people in there. There's a lot of talent out there. 250 people sitting on the operating pool. Of course, people could do what I'm doing. Of course, they could, because I started out with zero, background, and they allowed me to make mistakes and screw up for 6 months before the guy said, we'll see you in 6 months. All right, you figure it out. It takes 6 months to figure it out. And also the same thing. So be careful how you enter a position. Sometimes if you negotiate a salary or negotiate, I want to be this, you're going to be stuck there. Yeah, we'll give you a 3% raise in 6 months. We'll reconsider. So how you enter a relationship or a business proposition, that's going to be where you're going to be for the longest time, because people will see you as that person. People would have seen me, again, nothing wrong with it, but they would have seen me
You're
as
right.
an operator. And then I was having a conversation with a lady friend of mine the other day, strictly friends. And she said, oh, she got an invitation, like a big invitation from somebody she knew in high school. Long
Okay.
story short, the guy said, yeah, why didn't you come over? We'll get a couple of drinks and we'll jump in my pool. Right. So he doesn't want to take her out for a drink. He doesn't want to take her out for dinner.
Yeah.
So I said, you better be careful how you enter a relationship, because if you enter the relationship as a cheap, easy date, guess how you're going to be viewed from now until eternity.
He doesn't have to spend any money and he gets to see her body. No, sir.
I mean, even then, it was just disrespectful. I said,
It's
of course, people can do whatever the hell they want, but
No, they
that's how you.
cannot. Do you not look at Facebook? People cannot do what they want.
What's your opinion?
1,000%. I don't know that I always look at it that way, but you're absolutely right. I feel very strongly about whether it's a job or relationship. You have to determine. You have to know who you are, and you have to ask for what you want, just like you did for that host job. If you wouldn't have asked, you wouldn't have gotten it. You always have to. I've learned the hard way that I must ask. I can't just assume that people are going to see what a good worker I am and they're going to promote me. I've fought and argued and asked for lots of things.
Right.
I don't get all of them, but I do get some of them. And you just have to know who you are, because if I right away when you talked about the lady going to the pool and doing, my first thought was, hell no, you don't know me well enough. I'm not I'm not doing it. We both have to earn each other's respect, and that's not how you do it. In my book, in my lady book.
You won't find me defending the president very often here. All right. And
Uh oh.
people tend to think that he's sexist and racist and things like that.
They now.
But think about this. He hired a female to build Trump Tower. She was in charge of the entire job. And I think that the way that he perceives people is the way that they present themselves. If you present yourself as a hooker, you'll be perceived as a hooker. You present yourself as a professional engineer, that's how you'll be perceived. So, and then you might look at that and say, oh, you know, he's being sexist or racist the way he's treating that man of color or that person, with boobs. But I think he just reflects back on how they're demanding to be treated and be
Well,
respected.
that was the story behind grab 'em by the pussy, was because they said these were all kind of like star fuckers that were
Right.
chasing him around. And I'm not saying it's right to talk that way, but
No.
then also when female reporters are asking him questions, I don't find that he gives them the same level
Oh,
of
no, 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 no.
respect. So it might
Well,
intermingle, but I agree with what you're saying.
right, but
You have to present yourself
yeah.
at a certain level.
I mean, he's dismissive of male reporters from CNN and
Absolutely.
MSNBC. So I mean, then it's the old interpretation because she's a woman, she's also gets lumped into that being disrespectful to women or
Yeah.
misogynist.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. I say
Well,
I
I like
agree
hearing
with you
that.
on this show. Here's the thing. I don't remember agreeing with you this much. Have I softened in my old age? I'm gonna have
You're
to do a
finally.
how many times do I say to Tom, you're right?
You're right. There you go.
I've been saying it a lot
And
lately.
I tell you, Tina and I, when I was doing the carry cart, I was doing some B-roll for carry cart where I was doing all sorts of things, and the girls were in the show, and
Yeah,
coming with 3 minute spots, and I had a lot of time left. I was shooting over at Luke Caputo, a mutual friend of ours. I was shooting over at Caputo Studios, and I've got like 3 hours left, because you buy the day. Okay, I'm
yeah,
buying the day. Things were
yeah,
going very, very well. I had a particular shot I wanted to get where I put a car on 4 carts and I pushed the
yeah,
car
you
on the
did.
cart, right? I mean, that's a fun shot. So I told the girls, I said, hey, call your mom and have her come out down. She's talent, and we'll do like a
Yeah,
15-minute infomercial on the carry card. And while we're here, might as well do it. So she
yeah.
did it, and we did it. And in the show, she's like, Tom, this is you're brilliant. This is an unbelievable item. And then afterwards, I said, if I heard a lot more, you're brilliant, and this is we might still be married.
It happens. We have our weak moments,
Right.
Tom. You come in from the side and we don't know what's happening. We're like, oh my gosh, we don't have our guard up.
You're brilliant.
You're
Yeah.
brilliant. Okay, I
Well,
definitely really quickly want to talk about this.
yes, you got 3 minutes left.
Okay, I'm going to do it in 1.5. Love on the Spectrum. Have you watched this show?
I have not. I find myself watching a lot of master classes. I need to get your list so we can watch the same
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah, and I do need to do the master classes as well. Here's what I love about it, and I'm learning so much because I'm not that familiar with Asperger's, autism, and the spectrum, because there's so many levels of being on the spectrum of Asperger's or autism. But basically, it's these young 20s trying to date. And so they have people coming in and breaking it down. When you meet someone at a restaurant, if you're a man, pull the chair out, basic things,
Oh, uh-huh.
right? But here's what I love about it, their honesty. They have no filter. The problem with us dating in real life is we have all these filters, right?
Hang on while I fix the camera with 1 minute to go. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. I have 222. No?
Go
Okay.
ahead. You
Okay.
call it.
Here's what I love about it. They ask them, what is being in love? Has
Right.
anyone ever asked you that question? What is being in love?
I don't believe so.
It's such a beautiful question. And it really made me think about, what, as much as I've thought about, I'm looking for this and I want that, I've never actually at my age sat and thought, what is being in love? Because we all have different ideas about it, right? And because they were so unfiltered, they were saying things like, it's always listening to the other person. And these are
Oh,
people, Asperger's, autism, but they have no filters. And that's what is so lovely about it, because we build up so many filters over time. We're like, well, I'm not going to do this. If they don't do that, then I'll do this, and I'll be embarrassed if that. I really highly recommend it. And I really recommend everybody taking a moment to think, what is being in love? So you can understand yourself better when you're looking for a relationship. And done.
I love it. Well, I'll play that "What Is Love, Baby Don't Hurt Me" theme song when I do the remix.
Oh, yeah, do that. That's a good one. That's a good one. So, what's your thing? Because we have like what, a minute left.
Well, I have an interesting idea for comedy ideas.
Okay.
I want to recreate conversations about that inventors might have,
Oh yeah.
like the guy that invented brights on your headlights. Put the brights on, get the brights
Yeah.
off.
Yes.
I'm envisioning him explaining that to his buddies at the bar. This is the year is 1942.
Okay. Okay.
He's trying to explain this to his wife and or his buddies at the bar, and she's like, "Bright. So you got another set of bulbs? What's going on? So you got to get out of the car and do what?"
That's a
And,
great idea for a comedy,
you know,
actually.
and it's like complete misunderstanding. I was,
We take that for granted, our everyday things.
yes,
It's a great
awesome.
idea.
Huh?
That's
Right.
you're brilliant. You're brilliant.
Brilliant, I tell ya.
You're brilliant.
All
Okay,
right.
do you want to do real quick? I know. Okay, sexy talk. I'm not going to say anything dirty, but I am going to say, well, you know what? Something that I think is sexy when you're in a relationship. If you have a code word, if you're out somewhere and you want to leave, you guys, I think that's super sexy because you know your partner's there for you, helping you. Oh, there goes my timer. Um, I think that's super sexy. And do you have a tip of the day for us? You
Tip of the
always
day. Well, I did set a timer. Stay out of the sun. And I did watch how you enter a relationship.
which is really
I think
good.
that's a good tip.
Okay, watch how you enter the room.
Okay, I'm gonna tease for this Wednesday.
Tease it.
My sexy talk is gonna be about role playing.
Oh, I love that so much. Should we wear costumes for the next show?
Might happen. We'll see how we show up. All right, my name's Tom Wise.
And I'm Melinda McKinsey. Thanks for unpacking.
Some
Some-
shit. That's another one in the can.
Yeah, it is.
I cue the outro music.
And
Wrap it
cute.
up.
So
And thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
thank you.
And stop.